today we're going to be talking about is how do you crush your goals? The question is, what happened to you prior? What happened? And did you hit your goals? Did you set your goals? Did you start off really strong and then kind of got a little lazy? Or maybe you lost sight of the vision that you had of what you really wanted to accomplish. And today we're going to cover all of that, because one of the most important things about getting you to a fast start is to know exactly where you're going. If you don't have the absolute clarity, you're never going to get there. And there's a few other things that we're going to talk about as far as the 5 different ways that you can use goal setting to help you achieve everything that you want and not get stuck in the things that you don't want. My name is Dr. Koni Scavella. I'm the host of the Iconic Entrepreneur group and movement, and we want to make sure that you are able to move your business. Our goal is to take you from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less. And we have an exact formula to do that for you. So we're going to show you everything and how that works. Okay. And as we get started, I just want you guys to know that we are starting a 5-day Iconic Results Challenge. So we're challenging you to go ahead and set big goals and then hit them. We'll even hold you accountable and help you out with that. So the 5-day challenge starts today. You can come in on it at any point. The whole thing is designed to get you to your goal. And what we recommend is looking at it in different goals. Now, maybe when you've been setting goals, you kind of are familiar with this. How many of you have heard of SMART goals, right? And, SMART, they got to be specific and measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Well, that's been around for a long time, and it has some merit, especially when you're talking like a specific goal. Maybe there's a quantitative thing you want to reach. But when you're talking about your life and your business, it doesn't actually work that well. And we're going to show you why, and we're going to show you a different way to do it, what you really actually need to do in order to hit your goals. So let me see, show of hands, how many of you have already set your goals for the year? So let me see in the comments, and let me know, by the way, if it's your first time here, if you've been here before, if you're watching live, or if you're on the replay. If you're here live, type the word live and stay tuned, because I do want to show you how you can get in on the 5-day Iconic Results Challenge. And it's all designed to set your goals, to be able to create them and to conquer them. And it is a 5-day email challenge. So you don't even have to show up live. You can do it from the comfort of your sofa if you want to. And it's 100% free. So we'll tell you more about that. And if you're looking at last year, I want you guys to close your eyes for a minute and think, based on last year, how far did you get? How many of your goals did you hit? Were you at 90%, 50%, 30%, right? Put your percentage down in the comments. Let us know, how far did you get on your goals? If you're under 85%, then we can help you out. And I definitely want you to join the challenge. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But you might want to just get off to a faster start. I'll be happy to hop on a call with you, take a look at your goals, take a look at your business, ask you some questions about it. And then together I will sit with you and develop a strategic plan that you can implement right away. Okay. And all you have to do is go to meetkoni.com. That's the fastest way to guarantee that you will achieve your goals. So if you go to meetkoni.com or #call, and I will sit on a call with you. It's going to run about 45 minutes and we will outline your game plan. So how many of you have a game plan? Do you have a game plan? Do you know exactly how you're going to hit your numbers? And whatever your number is, what would happen if you doubled it? Okay. Maybe your goal is to make $8,500 a month. That's $10,000, $100,000 a year. Okay. A little more than $100,000 a year. What if you doubled that? What if you made 16,000? What if your goal was to make 10,000 and you made 20? What if your goal was 30,000 and you made 60? Okay. Just think, what would happen if you actually had a way to double your goals? Well, rather than the SMART goals, you got to find the right goals. And that means they have to be meaningful, and it has to mean something to you, not just surface stuff, but really meaningful to you. It's going to have a significant transformation in your life. All right. And so there's got to be a transformation. So the old you disappears and the new you shows up, and it has to be impactful. So those are the 3 things that you want to look at. Are my goals that I'm setting, are they meaningful to me? Does it really mean something? Because if it doesn't mean anything, the why that makes you cry, then you'll give up. And if it's not transformational, right? Because you will become a different person when you accomplish this. And you have to let go of all the limiting beliefs and things that people have had. And last thing, it's got to be impactful. Can you make a difference? Because if it's all about you, that becomes very kind of narcissistic, and it also won't last. So those three things are the first step that you have to make sure that you're hitting the right goals. Okay. And then what kind of goals do you set? People always go, oh, I don't know what to set. Okay. Well, you do need a timeline. This is the key to turning your life around. If you really want to guarantee satisfaction with your goals and make sure you hit them, you need to have three types. You need to have the short-term goals, the things that are 1 year or less. Right? That's why we always talk about 6 figures in 1 year or less. And then you want the medium goals, 3 to 5 years out. What could you accomplish then? And then the things that are longer term, 5 years or more. And if you look at some of the most successful countries out there in the world, they have a very long-term focus. And when you have a long-term focus, it actually keeps you motivated to keep going. But if your goals are all just too short-term and too immediate, people either stretch it out and procrastinate, wait till the last minute, or they get tired because, okay, I did my goal, now I don't have anything else to aim for. So you want to have all three, short, medium, and long. And the 1 year mark is very, very important because you're going to go through all these different waves and cycles of confidence, lack of confidence, belief, lack of belief. And you need to be able to kind of weather those storms. It's just like a year where you have 4 seasons. So a year is ideal time to set a goal. So always set at least your 1 year goal. So when you're looking at your business, put in the comments below, what is the 1 year goal? Tell us your 1 year goal, whether it's your number one goal. Maybe for you, it's a business goal. You want to make a certain amount of money. Maybe it's a trip that you want to take. Maybe it's a physique that you want to have. Maybe you want to transform your body, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it is. Okay. Put your number one goal, could be in any of the areas that you want to do. And so what are those areas? These are the 4 fundamentals in which you want to set your goals. Okay. So write these down. These are the 4 F's. Okay. So a fulfillment goal, what would just make you feel complete, total bliss and joy? Like, I did it. Might be a great accomplishment or an award or just something that would really make you feel like I've arrived. Okay. What would be that goal? And also goals with family and friends. What do you want to accomplish in your personal sphere? Your finances. What do you want for your income, maybe your savings? And what about your fitness, your health? Because if you take one of those out, if you remove one of those 4 F's, it's not very complete. So it's no fun, helping out your family and making money and looking great and fit, but you don't feel complete. You don't feel like, well, you have this existential crisis. What's it all for? So those are the 4 F's. So that's the second thing that you want to do in the 5 steps. All right. So how many of you love to go out to eat? I love to go out to eat. Think about this. When you go out to eat and you're in a restaurant, the first thing they usually do is hand you a menu, right? And you want to think of your goals a lot like this menu. So when you go to a restaurant, you're really picking from a menu, right? You look first, okay, what course are we going to have? We can start with the appetizers, dessert. We're going to go for the main course. You're picking a course. What's the thing that you're going to start off with? And you also choose the size, right? Maybe you want a half plate. Maybe you want a double portion. So what's the size of the meal that you're going to have? And you have to understand the timeline. If you're going to have something that takes a long time to cook, you have to understand that and adjust accordingly. And then there's also, when you get a menu, you might not like everything on it. And so you might decide, hey, I need to make some substitutions. Well, the same thing is going to happen with your goals. You've got to select the course. What is the main thing, the main dish that you're going to start with? What's the main thing that's most important to you? And what's the size? Like, how big is that goal? So always think in terms of a restaurant and a menu, and you're choosing what you want to eat. You're choosing the same thing with a goal. So now that you know what you want to start with, what is the number one thing that's important? What is the size? And then how long is that going to take? And this is where people get it wrong a lot of the time. They assume it could go a lot faster. And if you don't have enough planning behind it, it's going to take probably 2 or 3 times as long. So it's very important to understand the timing, and the timings that we're going to talk about in a minute. And then again, just like with that restaurant menu, right? Make substitutions. As you're going along, you're going to find that some things may not be what you really want, or you might have to adjust it to make it work. Okay. So make sure you understand, what am I going for? How long is it going to take? How big is my goal? And what do I need to change? And those substitutions are not just like changing part of the goal, but it's also changing you, changing a little bit about who you are, how you think, where you're going, and that type of thing. But here's what happens. Okay. You guys know this. Everybody I talk to has dreams, but those dreams never get materialized. And this is what I want to talk about. This is the thing that's why people almost always roll their eyes when it comes to goal setting, right? What about the elephant in the room? Okay. What about that? Because when you talk about goals, there's a sticking point. And you know the story of an elephant never forgets. We chain him down as a baby elephant, and then as a 2-ton elephant, you could still remove the rope that you tied him to, and it won't go anywhere, because it still believes in that limitation from before. And this is what we're talking about the elephant in the room. With your goals, and by the way, we don't actually call them goals very often. We call them results and outcomes. And here's why. If you have a goal, you're saying, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to get there. I'm going to have this. I'm going to do that. Okay. And all the time you say, I'm going to do it, but you're never in the state of that. It's never really happening. And all you're doing is you're in a mental state of striving constantly. So there's actually a separation between what you want and what you have. And so when you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this as my goal, it's actually inhibiting you from getting the goal. It's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. And so why do we do that? Because we have these limitations, right? It's in order to accomplish the goal, you have to alter your identity, meaning your vision of yourself and who you are. So I know a lot of this sounds kind of heady and maybe even woo-woo, but if you don't have the foundation of your goal set, it's not going to work. So what are the things that give us palpitations? What are the blocks that we have to setting an outcome? Well, there's fear, right? How many of you have fear? Are these some of the blocks that you have? Maybe fear, well, what if I don't do it? Or what if I look like an idiot for trying? And then loss, well, if I do that, if I make all this money, maybe I'll lose friends and people. They won't like me as much. Then there's the elephant syndrome, right? You've got these memories of, oh, I tried that before, it didn't work. I know somebody who did that and that didn't work. Or last time I did that, I lost a fortune. So old memories could be holding you back from actually setting these. And then your identity. Maybe you are just a little too attached to the old, smaller you, and you're unwilling or incapable of knowing, how do I actually start thinking and behaving like the person who does make $1 million a year? I mean, think about it. You right now is going to behave very differently than the you who earns $100,000 a month, right? It's a totally different personality. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that identity and being willing to step into it, because there's a lot of work in the background that needs to happen. And the other block to doing it is overwhelm. This is something we hear a lot. We talk here all the time, taking you from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less, right? And you know what most people say? Like, no, thanks. No, I don't need that much. I don't have to do that. I was baffled for the longest time. Why would people not want to have $1 million? Why not? You all buy the little lottery tickets, right? But people say, no, I don't need $1 million. I just need 100,000, or I just need 250. I'm good at 250. And here's why. Usually it's that overwhelm. You're working so hard, you're overwhelmed, you're struggling just to get to 6 figures. You think, oh my God, 10 times more. That means I'm going to work 10 times more. And it's the exact opposite. That's the big lie in the space, that, oh, you have to work harder in order to get more. And it's the exact opposite, because it's the hardest thing you can ever do is try to get to 6 figures. After that, it's easy, right? So that's why we really want to focus and give you all this training so you can get beyond that 6-figure mark, so we can take you to the 7 figures, because that's our zone of genius. That is our specialty. And if you do want to call, I would love for you to just do #call, and we will sit down and outline your results for the year. We'll design a strategy specific to your type of business. Okay. And so you can just go to meetkoni.com or just type #call. And I have the most amazing team here, Angie and Della and Sandy and another Angie. And I think Tally's here today as well. So we have our entire flight crew here to help you out. And if you're just joining us, guess what? we have something very cool. If you missed any of it, ask for the replay, okay? Because this is all about hitting your goals, and not in 2 years, 3 years. You want the goal that you're going after, we want you to hit it right now, okay? And one of the ways that we're going to help you is we have set up a 5-day iconic results challenge. So before I finish with the last 3 points on how to get your goals hit in 5 steps, I want you guys to join us for that because it is free. And let me just show you what's going to happen. All you have to do is type #challenge, okay? #challenge. And then we have a website set up for you. And let me share that with you so you can kind of see what it looks like. So this is what the site looks like, okay? When you go here, this is where it says join the 5-day iconic results challenge. It talks a little bit about what's going to happen so you can see a closer look of what's going to happen. And we're really talking about dramatically increasing your ability to set and achieve your goals in 5 days. If you need any help along the way, you'll actually have built into this, you have a free call with me anyway. So this is everything you get. Every day we're going to give you a new challenge. Every day also comes with some extra bonuses that are included. And so we talk about what do you really want? This is that clarity that we were talking about, right? And then the systems and targets, that's very important. And how do you plan the day? Because you can plan the objective, but you still have to go back and plan the day. And then how do you program it? How do you make yourself work on autopilot to get it all done? And then the weekly review. So lots of good testimonials here. All you have to do when you get here is go ahead and take a look, see what's happening on all the days. And then you simply click on one, right? Put your name and information in there and you'll get started right away. And make sure you use your real email, okay? Because that is where the challenge is going to go. It's going to go to your email, and I want to make sure that it's not going into one of your fake spam emails or something like that, because then we can't give you all the goodies, okay? So it's free and it's 5 days, and I'm probably going to do an extra bonus for you guys on top of that. I'm just checking my schedule, but I want you guys to do that. If you don't have your goal set, or if you do, but you still feel a little uncomfortable, like I don't think I'm going to hit it. I really want to hit it this year. And I just want to say that this is going to be a challenging year. This is going to be a year of haves and have-nots. All right. And I'm not being like doom and gloom. I just want to be really honest. Okay. Because we track markets and everything in order, it's all about awareness. Okay. And you have to know what's going on. So the market is going to take a significant dip. All right. And that dip, just like back in, if you guys remember 2008, the mortgage crisis hit. And even if you weren't in the mortgage industry, you were affected. Well, the same thing is going to happen now. And this is why it's so important to get off to a fast start and have your year set up. Know exactly what you're going to do so you can have blinders on and win the race. Because if you're looking at what everyone else is doing, or, oh my God, the economy, or this is happening, or this is falling apart, I can't move forward because I don't know. No, you don't have to worry about any of that. Remember, the money's in the meltdown. Every single time in my $5 million companies, every single one I built from scratch, every single one I started in a recessionary period. Why? Because that's where all the opportunity is. So I want you guys to be set up for that opportunity. All right. And again, it's very simple to make it like a guarantee. Okay. So you're going to go into this challenge. You're going to get the foundation, what you need to do, and then have a call with me, and then we'll strategize it and make sure that your plan is foolproof. Okay. So if you do want to come into this challenge, just do #challenge, and then my team will get you the link. So what else do you need to do in these 5 steps to make sure you conquer your goals is you've got to change your environment. Think of it like people in prison, right? And they get out of prison. Why do ex-cons have such a high recidivism rate? Meaning they go right back in. It's because they haven't changed their environment. And so they become a condition of their environment. So that means, who are you hanging out with? You're probably going to need to adjust and up-level your associations. What are you paying attention to? How much time are you spending on TV and listening to podcasts and watching YouTube and TikTok when you should be the producer instead of the consumer? Okay, because this is the age of the creator right now. And we're going to be talking a lot this year about the creator economy and getting you that celebrity factor. And as we say, famous in 4 hours. So we're going to do a lot of training on that this year. If you want to know about that, let us know. Just type #famous and we'll get you some initial information and put you on the waiting list for that. You have to change the audibles, meaning what are you saying to yourself? Like, I can't do that. Oh, that's too big. Oh, that's not going to happen. I knew I shouldn't have started. It's too late. Shoot, we're only 3 days in, right? It's not too late yet. And your assets, you've got to change your assets. What are you spending money on? What about your spending habits? Are you just kind of willy-nilly spending money rather than putting it back into your business? Okay, so that's very important. And so when you're knowing this, like, you've got to change your environment. Okay. And then you want to have a long-term goal, a medium, and a short-term. And by short-term, I mean a year. Where are you going to be exactly 1 year from today? Where are you going to be? And can you picture it? Do you feel like that person? It's like, yeah, I can see that. It feels like that right now. And when you can feel like it right now, that's the key. But setting just a 1 year goal won't cut it. If you only set a 1 year goal, you will fail. So here's what you need to do. You need to actually divide it into sub-segments. So you start with the whole picture first. That's the first step. Then you've got to feel the victory of the outcome. You have to feel like it already happened. I'm living it. Not like, oh, I'm living in my 500 square foot home. No, I'm on my 5,000 square foot home on the beach. Okay, you have to feel it. And then you have to outline in reverse. So begin with the end in mind. Where would you end up? And then what would happen? What would have happened right before you got to that step? And then right before that step, and right before that step, and right before that step. Okay. So you're going backwards from the future to the present, all the steps you would have to take to achieve that outcome. Okay. That's the third sub-segment. And then the fourth one is to be the change you want to feel in the world, right? You've heard Gandhi say, to be the change you want to see in the world. Well, it's important that you feel it. Okay. Feeling is the secret, and you want to actually embody that. So every day you're thinking, feeling, acting as that person who's already accomplished that. That's going to eliminate the gap, that separation. And so it's important that you kind of rank your results. Okay, so you need to know what your overall result is going to be. You need to know, how do I prioritize my time? What's going to come first and second? We have great planners and things that are in the 5-day challenge that you will love, that will help you out with that. And you have to decide, what are your segments? How are you going to segment it out and into those 4 parts that we just showed you? All of this is going to go into detail in the 5-day challenge. And then what are the actions you're going to take? Because you start with the overall, and then you break it down into the segments and then the actions. And it's the actions, it's the actual doing. Okay. It's the doing of it that people miss. They're like, I wrote it down. I spent 4 hours on my vision board, and I told all my friends, this is what I'm going to do. I even put it in my planner. And then I got up at 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So you can't do that. You have to take the action, and that's where people fall down. And the reason is, you're going to be able to be really good for about 4 days after you make a decision. So I studied predictable human behavior for 12 years. And so people go in predictable cycles up and down, right? And it's kind of like this, like a yo-yo. They'll go up and down and up and down. And there's a pattern, but it's predictable. If you understand that pattern and you can work with it and rather than against it, then you're going to succeed, and you're not going to have that income roller coaster. So you have to understand that the action is very important. And if you want, we have a thing that we do. It's called Mind Mastery. And we've had 100% success ratio with everybody who's been on it, and they get their goals, right? So if you want to know about it, we talk a little bit about it on every Monday, but just type in hashtag Mind Mastery, and we'll get you some information on it, because for a lot of people, being consistent and holding true to their word and having that kind of integrity is where they fall down. They don't have anyone supporting them and helping them move forward. So again, if you do want a way to guarantee your goals, just type hashtag call or go to meetkoni.com, and we can set up a time to talk, because it's better to do it at the beginning of the year rather than the end of the year. And then let's talk about the last thing that is going to hold you back. And I just mentioned that I studied predictable human behavior for years, and there's a spectrum of predictability. There's a spectrum of how likely am I to get my goal. What's the probability? Wouldn't you love to know, if I set this goal, I want to know that there's at least an 80% probability that I'm going to get it. And so there's 3 things that you have to look at in order to determine, is this predictable? Am I pretty much guaranteed to get this? So, I forgot the me. So first of all, is it controllable by me? Do you have the ability to control it? Then you have a higher predictability. Is it influenceable by me? Like, can you put some influence on it? Like, if you have 100% control, like, I know I just get up in the morning and I start my work at 9 o'clock and then I do this and then I do this, I'm fully in control. But if it's influenced by me, like, I can have some influence on it. Like, I need a whole bunch of people's opinions or participation. That gives you less predictability. And if it's just something that concerns you, that means, well, I'm involved in it, it affects me, but I don't have any way to sway the decision. This is from Stephen Covey, right? And when he talks about begin with the end in mind. And there's something that you want to look at the spectrum. It's called sovereignty and responsibility. So there's a spectrum for how much control do you have and the responsibility. So sovereignty, meaning are you in charge? Are you fully the one who has it? You own everything on it, then you're going to have a higher predictability. Going to the left. To the right is just like your responsibility. Well, I have some responsibility in it, but I am not the key player. And how you compress time is moving from right to left, move from responsibility to sovereignty. And so if the buck stops with you, if you are in full ownership, okay, your likelihood of you getting your goal is so much higher. So now, again, that's something that we are going to cover in the challenge. And this is the 5-day results challenge. I would love to have you guys come in on it. It's 100% free. It starts today. And so you can go ahead and get registered. All you have to do is go to #challenge and we will give you the link and then you can go ahead and get all set up. And we wanted to do this. So you'll be done with this. You'll have your goals set up. You'll have your foundation. Everything is ready. Even an action plan. We've got a brand new planner if you want it that's strictly set up to help you achieve these goals. And there's something that, like, maybe you've written goals and they're just like so boring. We have something called the results sheet. So if you want it, it's amazing. Just type #results. And that is the thing that I would say for every one of our clients has it. And it is the thing that was chiefly responsible for us getting to $1 million in under a year. So this is what I really wanted you guys to think about. Where are you in your goals? Why did you miss? Like, think about it. Just think about it a little bit. I didn't hit every goal, or I didn't set them, or I stopped looking at them by summer, right? I got a little overwhelmed. And then we're just doing actions. And they're not even activities. They're not the right thing. They're just actions. So what you need to do is have a specific plan. And so the challenge will give that to you. So again, the website is right there on the screen for you. So all you have to do is join it. It's 100% free. And every day you're going to get a new challenge. So a new challenge book every day. And then you're also going to get some bonuses that are really only for our clients. So we put a bunch of those in there and we put in a couple extra bonuses on top of that. So you get a gift every day and some extra bonuses. It's 100% free. You do it at your time and your pace. And I just want you guys to just go ahead and do that. And then next week, I want to hear what your results are, because one of the things that we're going to give you is a call with me. So just do #call if you want that. And then we'll strategize your goals. We'll look at your goals and then we'll give you a guaranteed plan to get you there at the end of the year. If you want to get to 7 figures, that is our specialty. So we're happy to help you. Come back here every Tuesday at 5 p.m.-ish and get new 7-figure strategies. Every single week, we do something completely new. And it's all based on your feedback. So our team is always reaching out to you. We have over 250 resources to give you that are free, that can help you grow your business. All you have to do is ask. They'll all reach out to you. We reach out to every single person and make sure you have all the resources that you need. So expect some messages from our team and we will see you in the challenge. Have a great night.